Giuliano.
All right.
All right.
So
There it is. All right. So there it is, because we got our topology right now. So right now, Michael Morales is still undefeated. 18 wins, no loses, no draws, because I know he's from Ecuador. But as a matter of fact, because he has amazing power in knockouts, which is technical knockout, which is like exactly like 72 of wins. They have 6% of wins. Also, they got 22 wins of decision. So look at the resume right now, because he got a canceled bout on May 10, and now he's got the right hook for the follow punches or the win. But look at the resume right now, because not only he just won against Gilbert Burns, but also Neil Magny, Jake Matthews, Max Crispin. I mean, what can I tell you how good is Michael Morales? Because I know he's 25 years old. He has great power. He's able to wrestle in gapple, because he understands how to finish and pass the action, because he seems like he has a good cardio. And he has a decent variety of strikes. I mean, he reminds like something like a young Namindu with grappling strikes. He has a freaky power, strong, athletic, but also a little bit wild at this time, because I know he's a solid prospect. He passed every test so far, but he could be on the mids right now. But around for like the top 5, he will know this is gonna be like a champion. To be honest, right now.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I also want to mention. Oh, here comes Giuliano. Okay, now
there you go.
Oh, yeah, now I hear him.
No, I'm just listening.
Yeah, well, one thing I want to mention is beyond just the power, like No Chill said, he's got a great reach. Those overhands were just money. Every single time on Gilbert Burns, he was catching him flush with that like overhand right. And he even knocked him out through getting through like past the guard of Gilbert. When he got back up, it was a looping shot that put him on his ass again. So that long reach, like besides the power, the long reach is what like guaranteed him the victory here. Burns had zero answers for that. And it's good to know that he's starting to finish fools too, because that is way more marketable.
Well, Gilbert Burns is not the type of fighter that would strategically be good against a guy like Michael Morales. A guy that can stay on the outside well and maybe chew up Michael Morales' legs could do a lot better than Gilbert Burns. Gilbert Burns, he just comes in somebody's face, no doubt, right? And he tries to take their head off. He swings. He uses his jiu-jitsu acumen to set up the striking without any threats of takedowns. But when a guy is just willing to come in and poke him a couple times and then, find his chin, it's not going to end up good. I think Michael Morales is meant to beat a guy like Gilbert Burns, but you have some tougher fights up in the division, or maybe even you could go to Mexico on Noche. I think this is a very good idea. I suggested this before. Who better to fight a Mexican than Colby Covington in Noche on pay-per-view? Now, that is the type of thing that can make Michael Morales a star or potentially rejuvenate Colby Covington's career. That's the perfect matchup.
And it's another veteran for Michael Morales to just absolutely destroy.
We think so, but Colby has that wheel kick. And also, this is the thing. If you don't belong in the top 15, if you can't hang, you don't fucking belong in there. You don't get fucking easy fights. If you're saying, oh, that's another guy that could just get walked through, then he's going to get walked through and he's going to go down in rankings, because this is the UFC. This is the best fighters in the world, and that's it.
I hope they don't give Colby another title shot if he loses.
So
if
do you think that
I don't think he's going to have a title shot.
Do you think that perhaps Michael Morales shouldn't get Colby, but should get?
Oh, is Giuliano talking? I still can't hear.
Really? Wait, Rafuccio. Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear him.
Rafuccio, can you hear me?
Only you can hear him.
All right, no show's full of shit.
Yeah, I can hear you.
No show's 100% full of shit. To what Nocho was just saying, I mean, yeah, he's right, but at the same time, I mean, people have a tendency to be like, who's, it's like up to this point, they're like, oh, Neil Magny was his best win. Neil Magny was washed. They're going to say the same thing about Burns. Like, I think that, like, the top of the welterweight division, like Shavkat, Sean Brady, Morales, Ian Gary, it's probably time to start matching those guys up with each other. I mean, they did it with Protest Gary, now Prates is like, essentially established as being a tier below like the top of the welterweight division, which is getting very good, which has gotten very good. I think like, honestly, it's like Morales versus Prates at least should be, Ian Gary versus Sean Brady. Like, those fights are, more called for instead of like, using like people like Colby. People like Colby Covington. I mean, you got Buckley matched up with Kamaru. Like, they're taking out the old guard already. Like, I think like, I think like, eventually these guys are gonna have to fight each other. I think it should be sooner.
That's crazy.
You say Morales versus Prates? That's the most retarded thing I ever heard in my life.
I don't know. At this stage in both men's careers, I don't know if that matchup makes too much
Prates
sense.
is coming off a loss.
Not that fucking.
Morales is on an undefeated streak.
I would rather. I mean, like with Morales, I'd rather see Morales fight Ian Gary or Sean. Like, maybe someone who's a bad stylistic matchup who's also really good, like Sean Brady. Like,
I don't know. The kid beat Gilbert Burns. Let's give him another one before we jump him in title contention.
But they already gave him Magny, bro. It's like Magny Burns. Like, you really want to see him?
Give him fucking Colby. Who cares? Give him somebody like that.
I guess. It's just like, it's like, how that fight's gonna go. Like,
I do want to.
That should be like a good idea. Mm-hmm.
I want to mention that, like, who was actually excited for Gilbert Burns versus Michael Morales?
Me?
Yeah, I was. I definitely was.
Wait, but you didn't
all of them.
But you didn't have immediately in your head, this is going to be a squash match, or Gilbert Burns is done. Like, this is not going to be.
I wanted to see a knockout.
Right. I thought it would be a second round finish. I thought Gilbert Burns would shell up and at least last that long. But
is that the kind of fight that you want to sort of have headlining, like a fight night, not even a fight night, just an event in general? Like, do you think that's
a 17-0 contender fighting in the top 10?
That's a great fight.
I do want that.
That's that. I mean,
that's exactly what I want in the main event. 17-0 contenders breaking into the top 10. That's money. It was okay. The whole card, though, obviously, to Hank's point, not so good. I thought value-wise, but it turned out really good, though.
The thing is, though, it's like, I mean, there's something to the fact that, like, I mean, it's like there's been a lot of like cards this year where it's like name value wise, people are bitching going in and then they wind up being great cards.
They have an uptick in talent. They have a huge pool of talent. So, I mean, you should expect there to be some good fights and some good finishes.
Bro, Gabe Green got a fucking like, and I mean,
I expect. I think I said.
And then Ruzaboyev looked like shit. Like, I mean,
no, I didn't think he looked like shit.
He didn't look like shit. It's just like he looked less.
Stoltzfus is a tough match for him, stylistically.
I mean,
all Stoltzfus has is an overhand, and throughout his career, that's what Nerlson Ruzaboyev has been very susceptible to. So he got dropped in round one.
What made me pissed off was people saying that Dustin Stoltzfus was just a bum who had no chance against Ruzaboyev, and he fight by decision. So there's no bum arguments left.
Before his last fight, we all did kind of think that a little bit, but
Ruzaboyev is not the best wrestler either, to be honest.
No, he got taken down by Gaethje. I mean, not Buckley.
Northwest.
The Buckley fight was at 170, bro. He's 6'5", cutting that much. It's like he lost a lot of power. But yeah, you are right.
Northwest in the chat says that Umar was 18-0. Look what happened. He's arguing against pushing him too fast. What do you think about that?
No, he's saying that's why it's entertaining, because they're undefeated, that doesn't mean they're always going to win.
Yeah, right. But like, so a matchup like Shavkat versus Gary, it's like, I mean, I would have liked Shavkat to have not been injured, but it's like, I mean, where you got two undefeated guys who are headed for the top of the division against each other, like, I mean, you don't get those options when you're matchmaking. So it's like, yeah, I mean, this was definitely a good like main event.
For sure. I mean, in terms
the co-main, not so much, but it got fucking canceled. So
canceled, duh. But I mean, what do you think is more interesting? Like an even fight where you don't know who to pick between two veterans, or a fight where it's like, oh, this veteran's gonna get fucking killed here in this main event?
But the veteran doesn't always get killed.
The veteran does not always get killed, dude. Magny fraud checked him a lot. I mean,
fraud
after
Rowe. I mean, these guys get fraud. Joe Pfeiffer. We all
Pfeiffer versus Hermanson.
Nickel, bro. Come on, these veterans.
Bo Nickel, yes.
These veterans do not always get fraud checked. In fact, this year the most undefeated guys have lost their than any other year in UFC history, and we're halfway through it, not even.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that's very true. I would say.
I think that this was a good main event. I think it was all right. I think next week's main event is pretty shit, though. So
yeah, next week's main event's trash. I mean, the co-main, even what do you think about the co-main next week?
Well,
I think it's going to be pretty fucking boring, honestly.
Yeah, I think so too, bro. I think next week's kind of shit.
I like Billy Ray Goff. He's cool.
Always shit. And then it's not.
Billy Ray Goff is weird, man. Like,
he's just a little short for the division. If he went down to lightweight, he'd be very good.
Who did he lose to in his last fight?
He lost to Trey Waters, who's 6'5". Really,
Trey Waters. Yeah, Trey Waters is big. Trey Waters is big for.
When you're 5'8" and you're supposed to just pocket box a guy that's 6'5", that's not easy, especially in MMA. He did well. A lot of people say Golf won. I didn't think he won, but
Bro, you know who's the guy who knows how to be short for his division is Azamat Mirzakhanov at light heavyweight. He knows how to be 5'10" with a 70-inch reach and 71-inch reach, I think, and fucking just get inside and fucking tear people up. I mean, he's still undefeated.
It's Kapitan Rafuko's Combat Club. Why doesn't he ask a new question for us to debate?
Okay.
All right.
What do you think, Rafuko? It's just been a while since he's talked,
Okay, he's the host of the show. He can answer.
Let's kind of move on.
Hey, you just kind of sneak this Rafuko.
Yeah, you just dissed Rafuko. What the hell?
No. Sometimes on my internet is not All right, so right now for the next topic, because right now I just show off with Jared Gordon Tapology, because to be honest, right now, I mean, he just won against Thiago Morales overhand for ground punches. I mean, look at the rest of me, because I know he just lost against Paddy Pimblett.
Not just. That was a while ago.
He needs to get improved, between for Jared Gordon, which is the feat. This is gonna be on the point that no one has to do about it, because between for the grappling skills and of course for the striking. I mean, I understand that he just lost against Paddy Pimblett, but he has the audacity to keep the combat kid. Everything is happy to choose, because not only many wrestlers, not only many fighters, the UFC has it potentially with it come back, but it seems that Jared Gordon has to step at a level a little bit with the wrestling and of course the submissions. So how you guys talking about the talent and the skills to put it a Jared Gordon even after he's won against Thiago Morales, which is totally insane.
Morales.
Thiago Moises is, I think, what you mean.
But what?
Yeah, Jared Gordon.
What's next for him, or if Gordon's just a tough guy to put away?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I wanted to say about the skills after he just won against Thiago Morales.
I mean, he took Nasrat split decision. Went to a split with Nasrat.
I think Jared Gordon could probably fight a fucking prospect. I don't know, maybe Drakkar Close or some shit.
Yeah, that's a good matchup.
He doesn't need anything too high up, but he definitely does. I mean, it was I didn't expect him to knock out Moises. I didn't
expect it either. I thought,
this is going to be a technical decision. I think Gordon's going to get it, but he knocked Moises out cold. I think maybe that's why he could give him a little boost. So maybe give him Drakkar Close, or Brad Riddell doesn't have an opponent. He's coming back right now. Jared Gordon's perfect for that.
Brad Riddell.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, those are good matchups, dude. I didn't expect him to knock out Marco Madsen either. I mean, Gordon's got to be sick of bullshit. He's had mad fights canceled. The Hawk Paras decision was arguably a robbery.
Saudi Arabia card. So there you go.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, I agree. I mean, he could get Ribovich even.
Yeah, sure. That's a good fight too.
In response to Jesus' story in Talmud, I stream pretty much anytime. I didn't even know what Shabbat. I don't think I even know what Shabbat is, despite being a Jew. So, whoopsie daisy.
Are you actually Jewish, Hank?
Oh man,
what?
Are you actually Jewish?
Genetically, but not in terms of religion.
Okay. I mean, I didn't know.
That was a bit of the terms. Okay.
Ethnic. Hey, Vinny. Poor Giuliano, dude. Larry, when's the last time you went to a
Why?
Your
Wait,
face,
why poor me? I swept the card last night.
your face is completely blocked.
When's
right
the
now.
last time you to Marla told you?
I don't give a fuck.
Oh,
Okay.
I was gonna have like a fucking picture of it anyway.
World Trade Centers with the Jesus Christ Almighty. Okay, Vinny.
What-
We're gonna have a talk.
You
We're
were-
gonna have a sit down after this, Vinny. It's all right.
Wow.
Oh man.
Shut the fuck up, Ulysses. Dude, you've been my pal for like three or 4 months, and now you're just, oh no, he's one of them. Come on now. I thought we were homies. And now you feel like you don't know me. Anyway,
Ulysses is a grand wizard in my cult.
Yeah, but I understand that. Well,
There's no cult.
yeah, but I understand in
But there
the
is.
case of Jerry Gordon, because, yeah, I mean, to be honest, right now for the case of Jerry Gordon, I mean, he was really tired of this split unanimous decision, but he got a like ready to combat kid because it must be like really good. Because I know how really good it is about like the skills, but the age is working to lead him sadly. Because there should be
Yeah,
like
well,
an
you know, he used to be a crackhead under a bridge.
Like the story of Jerry.
Heroin addict. No chill. He used to be a dope addict, not a crackhead.
fight or die. Fight or die, Jared Gordon.
One step below, but still cool. Cool fight. Good job.
Dope fight. Dope fight.
Oh,
some might
He's
say.
doing, isn't he doing some sort of mental health program with
Yeah,
Angela?
Yeah, because he used to do dope.
Interview. He's doing some program with Angela Hill for like mental health awareness. He's got to hook up with Patty Pimblett. Enemies turn friends. We gotta talk to each other, lads. Me and Gordon hated each other's guts, but now we're together. Jesus Christ. But I don't know. Gordon, he's doing his own thing, and good for him. And then he was like, "That is good. God delivered."
Doing his own thing.
That is why
I mean,
knockout.
he's doing his own thing.
That is true. He's doing lots of things.
Doing his own thing. I mean, like, I don't. Okay, so all right, back to something else before. Bo Nickel versus RDR was brought up when about like prospects and veterans. I don't think RDR is necessarily like a veteran on his way out. I think that he's young enough where it's like he could actually rise in the middleweight division.
Mm-hmm. There used to be a website that had all the UFC lightweight rank. Oh, there it is. Found it. All right, I'm gonna look through that for.
What are you guys talking? Wait, who is a middleweight prospect?
I'm saying not necessarily I don't know if he'll ever fight for the belt. I doubt it, but I'm saying RDR is not necessarily like a veteran on his way out.
I mean, he's not on his way out, but he's very tenured, and he's probably. I mean, if he beats Whitaker, he's right there. So who knows?
Yeah, I think, dude. What do you think about that fight? Because I mean, dude. A lot of people don't know that one fight championship. He was a double champion. He got kind of chased around the divisions by Anatoly.
His striking is so fucking goofy, but Whitaker is the type of guy to pick somebody like that apart. But also, like Whitaker might just be done. So that's something else.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, dude, if RDR takes Whitaker to the ground, it's over. I mean, I think,
and he could easily do that.
I think so too. I mean, he's out scrambling Bo Nickel. He destroyed Kevin Holland. The GM3 shit was so long ago. We don't even need to talk. And that was his first fight. He knocked down GM3 too, right? So
it was also his first fight in the octagon, which is like, I mean, that's like a rite of passage. A lot of people get like you get a
little nervous. I mean, fuck it. I'll pick fucking. I think Whitaker.
I think Whitaker
is very, very susceptible to getting his fucking like teeth fucking drilled in again by a crank. So,
I mean, yeah, he's also not. I mean, he's not really. I mean, his takedown defense, his grappling is like. I mean, he's got so many weaknesses against RDR.
Well, the reason why I doubted him when he got into the UFC in the first place is because he got knocked out back to back by Anatoly Malikin in.
I just said that. Yeah,
Malikin.
And then Rug the goat, as Denial would put it, immediately lost to Rug after that, which is not a good look. But I think he's
reinvented. Well, that's one fight championship when Anthony Malikin was a 3-division champion.
Ritter is fighting at middleweight. He's never fought at middleweight in one championship. He was fighting 20 to 40 pounds heavier than he's fighting now.
Right. But wasn't he how is one's
wasn't he? Hold on. Reinier de Ridder, he was the light heavyweight champion. Malikin took the belt off him at that. Then he went down to middleweight, I thought. And then Malikin
in one championship means 200. Middleweight in one championship means
205
pounds.
Right.
Middleweight, light heavyweight in one championship means 225.
225, yeah. Okay. So no, that's true, yeah.
He was fighting 20 to 40 pounds up than he is now. So he was dealing with way bigger guys, with way more powerful guys. And honestly, like Malikin was pretty good, but he's like a big head. It's like fucking would you pick Robert Whittaker to beat like Tai Tuivasa or Derek Lewis just because he could piece him up? Like it was a big fucking size difference. He's not supposed to be at heavyweight or at light heavyweight. And Chin is a lot better now. Stay down at middleweight, and Whittaker. It's a dangerous. I think that's one of those 50-50 type of fights that you were talking about, Hank.
Yeah, my question actually, No Chill, is what was I gonna? Do you think that because everybody likes to compare RDR's herky jerky style with DDP right now, but do you think it's as effective as DDP's striking wise or striking wise right now? And
no, I don't think his striking is as fucking close. No, DDP was on the DDP was a kickboxing champion on a couple of circuits. RDR is a submission fighter. No, his striking is not nearly as good as DDP's, but with the threat of the grappling, it opens up a lot. And a guy like Bo Nickel could get completely folded. Yeah, so a grappler against I would be interested to see what could RDR work off his back against a guy like Chimaev? I wonder.
Right. Probably not, but
that's what I want to see. That shit's interests me a lot.
That's interesting, but I mean, again, if you remember Whittaker fighting Paulo Costa, like Paulo Costa kept it competitive against Whittaker, and he kept it competitive, but he didn't win any round to really. For sure. But Whittaker is essentially a kickboxer, when it comes to. So I mean, with the submission threat from RDR, as well, and his striking is very unorthodox. It's not easy to prepare for.
Question: Do you think the grappling is how he gets it done against Robert over cracking him with a big shot?
Yes, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. In that case, if Whittaker's, if he decides to work with, Craig Jones and a bunch of guys that are very anti wrestling focused, I think RDR would probably be in some trouble. He might want to start doing some training with Craig Jones. I mean, he lives in does he live in Australia or New Zealand? I know he's a New Zealander, but does he live in Australia?
About Whittaker?
Yeah,
I think he does.
Whittaker lives in Australia. Yeah.
Okay, in that case, he's got a good opportunity to work with Craig Jones because he's worked with Alexander Volkanovski, he's worked with Jack Della Maddalena, bunch of Aussie prospects that have been doing very well thanks to his sort of mentoring. In my opinion, if Robert Whittaker wants to guarantee that he wins against RDR, he should probably train with Craig Jones.
I mean, I don't think there's a guarantee that Whittaker.
But
Whittaker's not on that team.
Thank you, Will Black Betty. I appreciate it, brother.
Whittaker's out of Gracie Jiu-Jitsu in Australia. He trains with the big Samoan guy on one and Jacob Malkoon. That's Whittaker's team. The Volkanovski JD, I think they're in TriStar or something. It's a different team.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What happened to Jacob Malkoon?
Jacob Malkoon's still fighting in the UFC, I think.
Yeah, no, he is, right? Does he have a fight coming up or anything? Because
he got hip KO'd, right?
No, he got a hip KO. He just got
the hip KO. That's right.
He got hurt. I think he's injured. I'm pretty sure.
What other topics do you have for us, Rafuko?
Jesus, Hank.
I'm just asking because there are just a lot of long intervals.
Um,
But yeah, you got to fill out the questions with answers to the questions.
Yeah.
But we this would turn to RDR of all people.
All right.
Okay.
I have a question. Jailton Almeida versus Alexander Volkov. Good fight. Should that fight be booked?
No,
No. Why?
because it's a squash.
Say that again?
Because that's a stylistic nightmare for Volkov.
Yeah, I agree.
It's boring, and it's a boring fight.
You think that Almeida treats that fight like Derek Lewis and just lays on him for
Body
5 rounds?
body triangle, back control, body triangle, maybe TKO with pitter patter punches. Absolutely don't want to watch that fucking fight.
Yeah.
No. Let Almeida fight fucking Gane. How about that?
Who, Almeida or what?
Yeah, let Jailton fight Gane.
Yeah,
That's a good fight.
Because technically, Gane got the win, so...
that's a title shot immediately.
I mean, yeah, that's a good point.
I think Gane got the win. Almeida is on a win streak. Gane's on a win streak. Let them fight each other. There you go.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, my broader question with that question is what good heavyweight matchups above 7 in the rankings can you make?
There are none.
Yeah, I mean,
Almeida versus Gane is probably that. Yeah, that and what else? Right?
You got a donation.
Probably you should have enough for this one. Yeah, you got another donation coming up there. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, after we just talked about Michael Morales and Jared Gordon, because this next topic is gonna be really interesting because I'm gonna share the screen because all for the divisions are gonna really stack between for the lightweight, welterweight, because I'm gonna show you for this one right now. All right, so we got for the lightweight, which is the actual champion, which is Islam Makhachev. Right now is vacant. Right now we got for the welterweight, which is Jack Della Maddalena, middleweight, Dricus du Plessis. So after we just saw Islam Makhachev get it straight for the title, and right now he wants to move to the welterweight. Just like the same thing with Il Topuria just wanted to move out of the featherweight to lightweight to face each other against Charles Oliveira. And then Jack Della Maddalena, which is the champion, Islam Makhachev, she wants to be like a double champion because after he just stripped it off of the championship, he wants to get rid of move of this one. But between for the middleweight, Dricus du Plessis, I mean, he got a lot of serious danger to get to the title for just one, which is Kazma Chiame. So after we just suffered staggering off of the divisions, and right now it's getting sealed because there's a lot of this one. Because at the welterweight, check this out. Because Bilal Muhammad is there, Sean Brady, Chuck Magritte, but also they got for the lightweight, they had Charles Oliveira, Justin Gage, Matt Holloway. So between for the fight announcements, which is Islam versus Jack Della Maddalena, which is going to be in the future, but also they got Il Topuria versus Charles Oliveira. So what you guys thinking about staggering them off with the divisions? Because the people want to see Il Topuria versus Charles Oliveira between a masterclass of grappling, also strangling, but of course cardio.
I think Islam versus Topuria would have been better. I wish Islam wasn't going up. Honestly,
it's a strange situation.
Well, honestly, it kind of, I don't want to say it doesn't make sense. At the same time, JDM would have been waiting a very long, or fighting Sean Brady for his next one, which nobody wants to see. So, I get it. I get it. It kind of works if we want to keep JDM active, and that's a big opportunity for him. But lightweight, it's I like how the only thing is I know Topuria will not give Makhachev an immediate shot if Topuria wins, and I just like that a lot. That's all I can take away from that fight. Oliveira is going to get chinned. I think we all could see it happening, right?
Yeah, I see it happening too.
Yeah, I do.
Let's not forget, Topuria is a BJJ fighter before he was even a striker. So Oliveira is going to be in for a fucking rude awakening.
I mean, okay, I think Topuria wins, but like, is it that clear cut? You don't think Oliveira has anything for Topuria with the size difference?
I feel like if Makhachev can catch Oliveira when he's trying to do that clinch shit and knee up the middle and like
Talking about
particular,
Topuria.
Yeah. I'm saying Topuria is going to catch him just like Islam did, in my opinion. Square shot.
Oliveira has been looking like in that second Michael Chandler fight. I don't know. I just think, although Oliveira's very obviously he hits very hard, he had the most entertaining lightweight title run ever. He's a little just way too, you can't Max Holloway. Okay, he was outboxing Max Holloway. You can't be sloppy against this guy. And Oliveira's entire style is a little bit unorthodox, a little bit sloppy. And if you're catching Max Holloway on the chin, and obviously we know the power translates to 155 because of the Jai Herbert murking.
Allowed himself to get stung by Chandler in the 5th.
It's not gonna be good for Oliveira.
Yeah.
You think that Oliveira, if he's able to take Topuria to the ground, that he has more that he's a better shot.
I could see the only thing I could see Topuria doing is being a fucking idiot, being retarded, and having a giant ego, and just jumping right into Oliveira's guard.
Right.
That's completely
on character. That's completely on character.
Yeah. I was gonna say that's a definite possibility.
Well, what I think Ilya's going to do is just go Charles into having a fight with them. Like, oh, yeah, we're going to go to war. We're going to have a great fight. I'm going to beat him. I'm going to chin him. That's what's going to happen. And I did a Rafuko impression a little bit there. And Ilya's like, cool one-liner comeback. Oh, everybody's excited. And then the fight happens, and, Charles wants a war, and then Ilya just gives him the war, and he knocks him out just like that. Just play to Charles's, I always have a great fight. This is going to be awesome kind of mentality. But done. He's screwed.
But also, Dana, he's trying to say by producing cards or something. But if we don't see at all the pro true, because they have to pull up one night before, because they gave it the reasons that not to ruin the entire pay-per-view, because he could still fight. Turns out with the fight the UFC, but between for Il Topuria versus Charles Oliveira, because they get really stoked out. But it's not that really fair that when John can do whatever, and Ball gets 2 shots at the lightweight without losing the featherweight for it. But I wonder, because obviously if they're gonna really sucks or they're gonna be very good, but they're gonna rudely something. But between for the fight Islam versus Il Topuria, that would be the biggest fight to make it. But this is a good second option for the fans, because they must be the favorite, and now they could run for that division. And that was so many tough fights at lightweight, and it's undersized, because now that they have the 2 amazing fights, but between for the division is really stacked. But the only thing is, after Jatina Maddalena won against Belal Muhammad, because Belal Muhammad got exposed by his weak wrestling style, but instead of that, Islam Makhachev, he wants to take it to smoke against Jatina Maddalena. But of course, he could have messed it up. But if they wanted to cheer it up, because right now for the style, if he really knocks it out with the bulk match, we gonna really hurt. But someone has to do the match of the crack it off of this right now. But it seems that offered this fight is because they wanted to see the greatness, because they just wanted to see that bring it back to violence, just like what happened in Date.
Yeah,
that's true. What happened.
Mm-hmm. We got more good fights now that Jack Della Maddalena is the champion and not Belal. Although you could argue that he's had some very surprisingly entertaining performances against Leon Edwards and Jack Della Maddalena.
Leon fight was fucking boring. You guys are misremembering it. It was fucking
Leon
boring.
Came back in the 5th and made it pretty close.
I mean, it's hard to make a case for any Belal fight being that exciting.
One good fight,
even
I don't even like to say it was a Belal fight. It was a Giacomo Della Maddalena fight. And he happened to be fighting some guy.
Honestly, Belal
happened to be fighting some guy named
big mistake. First round. You made a big mistake. But what I want to say about Islam Makhachev is that for someone who wants to have be a double champion and have a legacy, he sure loves fights that nobody really wants that much. Like he wanted.
Hold on, Hank. You got to remember that
two of his on short notice,
two of his title defenses. 2 of his title defenses were last minute replacements. He had that's not it's not his fault that Oliveira got injured and he fought Volkanovski on short notice in the second fight.
though.
It happened.
He begged for it. Like, I want Poirier next. Come on. He just said it out of nowhere. Immediately after he won at UFC 299, I want Poirier. Like, that's just a L kind of mentality. Like, I don't want Armin. I don't want, Charles getting his rematch. I want Poirier. Yeah, look, give me Poirier.
I mean, he had already beaten Charles Oliveira and beaten Armin. So it's like, and I mean, yeah, Armin is, Armin was about to fight Armin, and literally day of Moicano fucking had to replace it. But like, if you put yourself in Islam Makhachev's place, bro, like, he hadn't fought Poirier. Like, I mean,
the guy who he like really accepted as a tough challenge was Volkanovski, and he was a weight division below him.
Yeah, but of course, because right now we just wanted to talk about like the welterweight, because look at this for the list of the welterweight, because they have so many contenders in the title of the weight, because it's gonna be like a lot jam into that division. But also they have Shavkat, who could be arguably like the number one contender, but also they have Sean Brady also under the list. But I think it should be like at the face of each other, Joaquin Buckley versus Usman, or Ian Gary versus Carlos Prates. I mean, the division has been like at a log jam for years. That's what it just called it like the welterweight. Because let me just explain for this one. Because none of the contenders ever wanted to fight each other. And they wanted to deserve it like at a title shot, waiting around doing nothing. I mean, that's less than true for the last couple of years. Because the only contender has been really inactive was Kamaru Usman. He was very active as a champ, but that can't really that matter him. But the edge was for Brady, Shabbat for Gary in short notice. And Gary and Buckley just seemed genuinely want to smoke. But there was like the many good contenders. It was always better than not good enough, because heavyweight, light heavyweight, even flyweight, they were kind of like at a die because of that. Because they just wanted to fight each other. And suddenly there's like a big kill with this one. But don't be surprised to get a surprising at all.
Oh, they've cleared out. All right, it's the Hank and Rafuccio show. Once again, let's fucking go. But you made a fantastic point, Rafuccio. People forget, man. Like, the welterweight division was in a complete logjam, and the top 5 refused to fight each other, or they'd have to charge huge rates from the UFC to fight. Or I want to fight Leon Edwards Scissorhands, man. Give me Edwards Scissorhands. Give me the title fight immediately after I beat Jorge Masvidal 2 years ago. Like, all right, coming. But we're just in a strange phase of our lives where we used to be in a strange phase for the welterweight division where nobody wanted to fight each other, and now everybody could potentially fight each other, and they're all game to do it. I'll be right back. By the way, entertain the people.
Yeah, I understand that about it. And I just wanted to tell you, make sure to subscribe to Capitan Rafuccio on YouTube. Also, you follow me on every social media like Instagram, Twitter, ads, as known as at Capitan Rafuccio, at Capitan Rafuccio 93 on Instagram. But check this out, because what I was talking about, like the welterweight division, because they got really stacked up. Because I don't understand why Islam is kind of taking like the second belt, because he's not fighting the law. Because I'm going to be sure that Jaden Amadali is going to win. Does it have Islam trusted in France's skills? I mean, this is gonna be like Curtis narrated that Khabib won't let Islam fight. Belal is from Tuporia. What did he hear like it before they were repeating it? Because it's gonna actually a thing? Doesn't want to suggest it more than that. But you can remove like Usman, Prates, and Ian Machado Gary for that list. But other the fights they deserve like a title shot. But it's still jam out into this picture, because that happens when all the young talents beats the old guard, and the opposite situation is going to be the lightweight law gem. They're leading for the same issue. Because I know that if you guys remember the same case of Shabbat, because he's really undefeated. So they give it like a little title shot where it's getting ready. But it seems that if Usman comes back to do Buckley or Brady, but I think this stomach enough, unless Bekovic, they're going to move on because they got a lock jam. But they would have never fights it again, but he just wanted to stay relevant. There'll be like the contender fights. So the launch jam is going to be temporary, but I can see UFC, I don't know, letting Shabbat with it wait out, because it's very quite popular. If Belal beats Jaden Madalena, which he did, I mean, the other contenders will really match up.
I don't think Belal beat Jack Della Maddalena.
Mm-hmm.
Who did? What are you talking about?
Yeah, I was talking about like the welterweight, which is really stacked at a log jam.
Right. Well, it used to be. Now I don't think we're in one anymore. Now I think it's like you have to have big fights in order to keep your spot. Say what you will about Ian Gary, who has his personal life that not everyone's a big fan of, and neither am I. But he shows up on short notice.
Yeah, I understand that he showed at a short notice, but know that I understand whether to agree also, Lisa, to say welterweight is a Shark Tank, because if you guys believe that the light heavyweight, which is like from 2020 to 2025, I mean, that guaranteed it at all. But they wanted to make it a fight each other because that's it used to be. I mean, there's like a fight contenders. They don't want it to fight with each other with a much like a modern UFC issue. But I know the Shab is getting the next title shot, and Brady gets a shot after. I mean, they're going to be because of a long time to receive. Because if Islam coming up, they didn't fix everything about the general principle is what the UFC is trying to do, and whether we just push out all the old guys. So I don't know if Usman or Edwards don't fight soon, they're going to really push down everything because they got over the rankings.
I gotta go. Capitan Refucho. But it was a pleasure chatting with you, brother. Enjoy the rest of your stream, man. But I got something to do on short notice, so I'll catch you later, man. Nice chatting with you. Good topics.
Yep. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Hank. I'll see you there. And to be honest, right now, I mean, that was like a really weird, just like a debate. That is like, where did everybody go? Because I know that I have something like to take care of it, Elias. But it was just like a nice debate, because right now it seems like they have 50 minutes. They have 50 minutes coming up there. But like everyone did it. So I just wanted to tell you for this one, thank you very much for joining us to the open debate night, which is going to be really awesome. So make sure to subscribe to Capitan Refucho. Also, you can follow me on every social media like Twitter, Instagram, Rumble, TikTok. So I just wanted to tell you, Paradise is here right now. Sup, guys? What is the next time you stream? Probably I'm going to do another stream on Tuesday talking about UFC and the course for the fight announcements. So they got to stick it around right now. You got to stick right now. So yeah, you got to make sure that about this right now. All right. So here's another thing right now. All right. You can also help and support my channel by making a donation on Cash App or PayPal, which my main channel is demonetized right now. And I'm on the road to 1,500 subscribers. So make sure to subscribe to Capitan Refucho. And of course, you can follow me on every social media. So that's it for today. Thanks for having us at this debate night, an open debate night, talking about UFC welterweight divisions kind of really stacked up. And of course, thanks for No Chill, Hank the Tank, as known as Hank Warzone, and Juliano to make sure of the stream right now, because I understand there's a connection difficulties coming up there. So thank you very much. And of course, I will see you there. Well, on Tuesday. Yeah, on Tuesday, because I just wanted to make sure. So I just wanted to tell you, salute to everybody else. Capitan Refucho in the building. I will see you there in another episode of The Combat Club, because this is a 100% extreme attitude. In this club, we're born to fight anyone, anytime, anywhere. So salute to y'all. And of course, have a great night. Have a great Sunday. And of course, let's keep it 100, folks. Good night.